BBC Radio Merseyside.
Hopefully, my next guest hasn't heard that intro, because the past 12 months, with all the various lockdowns, has meant that a lot of us have been eating more at home, cooking, preparing and doing more in the kitchen. But if, like me, oh yes, you get somebody else to do it, or you do it yourself and you find your bolognese is getting a bit boring, or you can't stand the sight of yet another plate of beans on toast, then have no fear, because help is at hand. Our expert today in the hot seat for Ask the Expert is someone who really knows his onions, quite literally. He's Anthony Wright, and he's the head chef at Hubert College in Bootle, and he joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Anthony.
Afternoon.
Do you know what? Once a year, my little treat, and obviously we've had to put it on hold because of lockdown, but me and a group of mates, we book a table at the L20 and we come and we love it.
Great stuff.
Really, really fab. And we'll explain more about what that is as we continue to chat. But tell us what catering courses that are on offer at Hubert.
So at Hubert, we have a vast range of courses. So it's everything from entry level all the way up to level 3 in both front of house and kitchen. We can gain the skills and qualifications and maybe one day become a restaurant manager or a head chef, or even run your own business.
And how have you managed during, obviously, the lockdown periods in the last 12 months with various lockdowns? How have you had to change things? Are you still doing stuff but remote learning?
So the remote learning we've taken on board, and we've done pretty much everything through Microsoft Teams, where we've managed to get the students some ingredients packs and recipes delivered to their home every week, and then we produce some excellent stuff, working during some live cooking sessions with our tutors at the college. So we've embraced it really well.
And for you as a chef then, tell us about how you've got through the lockdown process. I need to ask you, Anthony, have you put a bit of beef on? Have you been eating a lot of your own cuisine?
Yeah. As my wife always says to me, I'm the feeder. So it's pretty much, we have been eating a lot more than we would have done. And
tell us the types of things. Are you like everyone else? Have you been having nice kind of comfort meals at times?
Yeah, but I've got a 7-year-old girl, so we've been doing a lot of baking as well at home while all this has been going on. So we've been making things from like shoe buns to profiterole rolls to donuts to pretty much everything.
And do you think that's still the case? I know for the first part of lockdown, it was very much the banana bread and trying to get baking soda from everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, and trying to get self-raising flour. I know it was a big shortage.
For our listener then, because we're in, today couldn't be the worst day. It's a typical rainy day, maybe a bit under par for some of us. What would you throw in as a kind of cuisine delight for today? Give us something to get our teeth into that we could easily prepare, Anthony. Even I could make it, because you know that I'm the world's worst cook.
Yeah. To be honest, on a day like today, because it's really wet and windy outside, I'd do something really simple like a shepherd's pie. Something really nice and homely cooked. Something, great to share for all the family as well.
That's a good idea. And do you suggest that, following things like online, just a quick YouTube for a recipe, or is there a go-to place that you would find? Or are you a man that can just get all the ingredients, lob it together and dinner?
Well, to be fair, because I've been a chef for just over 20 years, I've got a quite vast knowledge of the basics, and obviously it's taking on the basics and improving them, adding extra ingredients in which you think will make it a better dish.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to take questions. So 0800 731 9333 if you've got a question for Anthony to do with why your flans aren't rising, or if they do rise, and why you're burning things, or the nutritional value of food as well, maybe getting more value out of what you're buying in the supermarket. You can get in touch right now to Kaz and also to Chris, taking your calls. You can email as well, helen.jones@bbc.co.uk. And while you do that, Anthony, tell us about this restaurant, because I've been to it a couple of times in L20 and how it works. I just think it's a lovely little treat that me and my mates do every Christmas.
Yeah, so the L20 restaurant is basically the flagship of the college. So basically, our students use their real working environment time, working in each section of the kitchen, preferring starters, main courses, desserts, bread, side orders, and basically the RWE sessions, the real working environment sessions. So basically, it's where they get marked down for the time in industry, and obviously they learn the basics of how to run a restaurant, and how to run each section, how to tidy down a section, how to organise a section. It's basically we're giving them the right platform to move on to.
Yeah,
when they leave.
Yeah, everything from the service to when you open the door. I know that they're kind of not getting marked, but they're kind of getting observed, aren't they, to get it right? And I've never had a fault, Anthony, when I've been to the L20 venue in Liverpool. We've got a question that's coming, actually, from Jock. He's having problems grilling his steaks. He's asking for tips on how do you do a decent grilled steak. Mine always come out tough.
Tough. So he's obviously just overcooking them out, allowing them to rest. The key is with a steak is basically to cook it in a nice hot pan, and obviously take it to the right cooking degree you need to, and just allow it to rest. And the longer it rests, the longer the meat relaxes, and it's easier and tastier to eat.
What's in season at the moment, Anthony? What's kind of a treat? As you know, in fact, you know what? Mother's Day at the weekend. Give us some tips for that. If we obviously a lot of places will not be able to kind of take families to treat mums. What could we cook at the weekend?
Well, wild garlic's actually just come in season, so you can get out there, picking it, foraging it. Make sure you obviously wash it. You can use it into pestos to make pasta, or you can use it with some like chicken and mushroom dishes. And obviously, it's a product that grows all over the country, and it's free to get, and it's very versatile. You can use wild garlic in all sorts of dishes.
That's a good tip. For the restaurant then, is it you then that comes up with all the recipes?
Yeah, so my job as the head chef, I sort of create the menus for our students, and then obviously then I put recipes and specs into place, and on each section we sort of like break down the dishes, go through it and train them up how to produce them. And obviously when it comes to service time, they're on their own, and I'm on the hot plate, making sure that dish is to the standard it's meant to be at.
Yeah, what I like about it, because I'm not saying it's cheaper, it's very well priced for the food that you get. And maybe you could explain it better than me, Anthony, when I say that. I'm not saying it's cheap food, it's exquisite food with prices that you think, how much? Because it's such a bargain.
Yeah, so we offer free courses for £15, and basically that sort of price range we've aimed at, obviously, to get the restaurant busier and obviously showcase the quality of produce for the students as well. So they're learning all sorts of the sort of dearer meats, and we're doing it in a way where it's still within a GP point for the college and it's making money, but also it's showing the students the right way to use ingredients.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but in lockdown, I've kind of had a real reminiscing kind of for food. So I've been having things like corned beef ash. I've been having liver and onions. Just food that my mum would used to cook for us on like those set nights. We always knew that we'd have fish and chips on a Friday. Do you think there's been a lot of that with people having that home comfort of choosing food to bring them a bit of joy because we can't go out?
Yeah, and to be fair as well, a lot of restaurants have actually started doing takeaways as well, so people can actually enjoy them at home through lockdown, which is, it's been great to sort of see, restaurants and, it being in lockdown, being able to still make some sort of business.
Of course, to give that luxury as well, because it is a treat in our house still to have a takeaway. Yeah. Anthony, how did you get started in the world of chefing?
Many moons ago. So basically, I think in my third year at high school, decided that I wanted to follow my cousin who was a chef into the industry. I ended up doing a work experience trial at a hotel near to me. Loved it, fell in love after the 2-week trial, and then ended up getting a job from it after it. And I kept on working through high school with the job, and then they offered me an apprenticeship at the end of it. And
you haven't looked back. It's just I just love talking to people who are passionate about what they do. Going back to the L20 restaurant, I believe that one of the recipes landed up in a Liverpool cookbook. Tell us about that.
Yes, so it was a few years ago we did the Liverpool cookbook, but it was one of our signature dishes we did over the summer that time. It was basically utilising a whole duck. So we had, I think it was a duck breast with broccoli puree, dauphinoise potatoes, tender stem broccoli, and then we made like a little bit of a bonbon, which is basically like pulled meat, sort of deep fried in breadcrumbs. As an accompaniment. So we basically brought down the whole duck, used the breast, brined it to get the best flavour out of it, Used the bones, we roasted it off to make a stock. And obviously the leg meat, we slow cooked and pulled the meat apart to make a little bonbon, and obviously deep fried it onto the dish.
A little what? Bonbon? What's that?
A little bonbon. So basically it's a little ball of pulled, like slow cooked meat, and then you sort of encase it into like breadcrumbs. It's almost like doing like a fish cake or something.
I know what you mean. You have to explain for me and get the overhead projector. Yeah. Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah,
to explain.
So basically use the term of a pane. So basically it's flour, egg and breadcrumbs. So basically you make a little duck ball of meat, you roll it in flour, you lightly dip it into egg, and then you basically roll it into breadcrumbs, and then you let that set in the fridge for about half an hour, and then you can deep fry it and it becomes a nice crispy ball. You don't have to deep fry it, you can, bake it in the oven, but that's what we did in the restaurant, was we fried it.
Sounds lush. Starving here. Anthony, for the future chefs that you're training up, that must be such a wonderful feeling to know that with the college and doing that work that you're doing. Is there anyone that stands out there for you in the world of cooking? Anyone that we would know, maybe the likes of those on the telly, that you aspire to?
To be honest, I think growing up, it's always been a sort of Gordon Ramsay, that sort of like goal for consistency and drive, and obviously winning his 3 Michelin star back in the day was really instrumental. But I like kind of like how Heston Blumenthal does a lot of things with food and sort of turns it on its head and sort of makes you think a bit more about it. But also I've got international people I look up to, like Grant Alcaz from the Alinea restaurant in Chicago.
And why do they stand alone?
Just because they're basically top of the game. They've been top of the game for a long time. They're very good. And, some of the stuff is sort of mind-blowing what they do. And it's always sort of inspired me. But, there's so many great chefs out there as well I sort of still look up to now.
Now, if I lasted, I'd probably last a week on the course because I'd burn everything. Do you ever have students where you just know there's just no hope?
I would never say that, because there's always hope, and things do happen
do you
for
know
a reason.
What I mean? Yeah.
Even myself, I do burn things in the middle of service. It does happen, but obviously it's the way we're showing the students how to sort of overcome that, and make sure you get it right first time, or if things do go wrong, there's a way to rectify it. Start again, and we just take our time and do it right.
Anthony, you're such a joy to talk to, because I know that you're inspiring the students that you're getting kind of going in the kitchen and stuff. What would you say is more important? Is it healthily or eating what you can afford?
I think it's a bit of both. I think eating healthy, as long as you're taking your salt, your sugar, and your fat content down, that's a healthy diet. If you can lower them things, like if you look on the packs in the supermarket, if you try and get pretty much a green or a slightly amber, you're doing well. You need to try and avoid the red on the nutritional value.
And for predictions then, for opening back up again, is there any sign of L20? Have you got a start date for that, or is it all work back in?
We've not got an official start date, but we're looking to open from the 17th as per the government advice. So hopefully we'll get the go ahead a week before to get organised to set dates, and obviously plan some sort of plan of events for over the summer, where we plan to keep the restaurant open over the summer.
And just to clarify, is that June, is it?
No, it's going to be May.
May, so, okay, right. Look at me getting me bookings in already.
Yeah, so hopefully with the restrictions that lifted up from the 17th, we're open to do some good theme nights, a couple of good Sunday lunches, where we do a Sunday club once a month, where we do a really good Sunday roast, and it is one of Liverpool's best kept secrets, if I say so myself.
I can imagine. Good tip. Give us the website in a moment, Anthony, but before I let you go, give us just some advice on jazzing up a classic basic meal, so I can pass it off as my own and say, look at this, darling. I don't know, shepherd's pie or beef stew. What would you say is an easy dish to make that you could just make it a bit more, punchy?
Well, a few years ago, I made a dish for the Food Porn Awards, which basically was an L20 fish pie, which is we sort of turned it on its head and made like a bit of a deconstructed fish pie. We flavoured the mash with basil and made the mash bright green, so it stood out on the plate. We sort of blowtorched it on the plate to get that feel where it's been in the oven. We made like a bit of a parmesan breadcrumb to go over the top of the fish, and we had nice, small like 2-ounce pieces of different sorts of fish on the plate, like smoked haddock, salmon, cod, and some lovely big tiger prawns on there as well.
That's a great tip. I'm frothing at the mouth here with excitement to just have that dish. Anthony, for folk that want to find out more about the course itself, they might have somebody in their house that is a budding chef, and also about L20 and are you taking bookings now for May?
If people can contact the restaurant website, and obviously make their contacts on there, leave the email address, and obviously people start getting back to it. It's just until we get clarity of when we actually can open, we'll start taking bookings from that date.
Okay, so that would be to look at the Hugh Bird College website, is that correct?
So the restaurant is www.l20restaurant.co.uk.
Fabulous. Anthony, I'm really delighted to have an update with you today. Go on, what was that? Come and let me cook for you, Helen, was that it?
And for people wanting to know what courses to get on it, visit www.hughbirdcollege.ac.uk. They can look at different courses we offer as well.
What a delight. Thank you so much, Anthony, for giving us some of your time this afternoon. It's been a real insight into the restaurant L20 and obviously being head chef there at Hugh Bird College as well. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and I'll be thinking of you and having me egg and chips later.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
BBC Radio Merseyside.